denial, depression, anger, bargaining, acceptance. These are the 5 stages of grief, and the backbone for one of the best shows ever made, Madoka Magica. Each stage is vividly portrayed in the personalities and storylines of the 5 girls. Together, their stories illustrate the different paths one may fall into if one fails to overcome their grief. Those who meet their end do so because they are unable or unwilling to acquiesce. Madoka Magica isn't just another magical girl show. It's a haunting warning of the dangers of being consumed by grief. We begin with our first stage. Mami Tomoe's arc is one of non-acceptance. From the outside in, Mami is a strong, independent girl whose morals guide her every move. She is the token magical girl, straight out of an anime like Sailor Moon. Her theme is filled with heavenly voices belting out a brilliant tune. She's adorned with a bright golden yellow color scheme that reflects her purity. Physically, she's the strongest out of them all, able to easily take down witch after witch without breaking a sweat. However, in episode 3, it's revealed that she isn't the all-powerful savior she appears to be. Mami's wish was simply to survive the car crash that Kyubey found her in. She saved only herself, and as time went on, she was slowly eaten away by the survivor's guilt of the accident. To protect her mind from imploding, she resorted to blaming herself and channeling that blame into her work. Because maybe if she helped enough people, it would make up for her inability to save her parents. She spent lonely days and nights fighting witch after witch, not wanting to confront the reality of her situation. Her only ally was Kyubey, and when that stupid little fucker is your only company, you know you're in the shit. Suddenly, she meets 2 girls, Madoka and Sayaka. Finally, she has a purpose and, more importantly, friends. For the first time, she has 2 people surrounding her who care. She takes these 2 girls under her wing, which ultimately puts both of them in danger. To compensate for her self-loathing, she puts on a facade of confidence. It turns out that though she's physically strong, she doesn't have any mental fortitude. She can't face her own weakness, and she certainly can't let anyone else see it. Denial consumes one's entire life, and although it may be a short fix, it's never a solution. Even in the timelines where Mami survives, her bubble of denial is popped one way or another. Finally, well, we know how the story goes. The downfall of Sayaka Miki is a classic tale of a pure human falling into despair. Depression is the stage of complete collapse, of total loss, and of sadness. At the start, she is a very bright, fiery girl who isn't afraid to stand up for herself or her friends. She holds 3 important characteristics: humanity, selflessness, and innocence. Remember those. From the very beginning, she's willing to sacrifice for the benefit of others. Her outfit is that of a hero, a knight of the people, a bastion of good, painted with blue and white to represent her purity. Her vision of herself is one of righteousness and justice. She wants to be like Mami, or at least the Mami that is shown to her, fighting for the greater good with no fear. Sayaka's love is for Kamijo, a violinist who has lost the ability to play in a car accident. Sayaka is a little obsessed and is willing to do anything to please him. It's sad watching her do everything for him and still be ignored or screamed at. Eventually, Sayaka dedicates her one wish to heal Kamijo's hand. She soon discovers that her body and soul are not connected. This destroys her humanity as he sees herself as little more than a shambling zombie. Her one love, the person she used her wish on, turns on her and starts courting her best friend. Unable to fight back because of her self-perception, she spirals further and further into depression. Her selflessness is broken. The blue of her clothing no longer represents purity and love. It's a visage of her broken spirit, of a girl lost in the whims of depression. The final straw is when she boards a train and overhears two men talking horribly about their girlfriends. She questions what she's even fighting for, what kind of sick human she's given up her life to defend. The final bastion of her being, her innocence, is lost. Kyoko is, personally, one of my favorite characters. I have her in Battle Cats. She represents the dark side of magical girls. She's what happens when one resorts to anger and aggression as a means of coping with loss. Her story is one of pain, guilt, and vengeance. When Kyoko was a young girl, her father was a pastor. He wasn't revered, nor was he famous, but he was dedicated to his cause. In Kyoko's eyes, he was a hero, and she wished he could get the recognition he deserved. Kyoko stumbled across Kyubey, and her wish was for her father's church to be the most prominent and respected in the area. It came true, as wishes do, but when her father found out about her being a magical girl, and more importantly, what her wish was, he went crazy, trapped in the thought that the only reason he succeeded was because of divine intervention. He massacred everyone in his family, then offed himself. Kyoko, ripped apart by the guilt of the incident, promised to never trust another soul again. She, of all characters, embodies her stage so well because she's quite literally going through the stage she represents. Her defense mechanism from the murder of her family is lashing out against anyone and everyone opposing her. One target of her outturned anger is Sayaka, whose altruistic and innocent goals oppose her self-centered and hate-filled rampages. Watching Sayaka fall into depression strengthens her, and for the last few hours of her life she tries to make a difference. Eventually, Kyoko and Sayaka go out with a bang, dying together in a burst of fire. Homura is one of the only characters to survive her stage, which makes sense. Bargaining is less of a detrimental mindset and more of a pathway to acceptance. It's what comes when someone is willing to trade anything to go back. That's exactly the kind of person Homura is. We learn Homura's motives in episode 10, which is a flashback to past timelines. I've already yapped enough about her intentions in my last video, but basically, she's repeatedly going back in time to try and save Madoka from becoming a magical girl, and later on, a witch. She's bargaining with her own life in exchange for Madoka's, trying to find any way for them to trade places. From their very first encounter, Madoka was the hero in Homura's eyes, and Homura couldn't stand the thought that Madoka died every time instead of her. This is a common feeling in grievers, and it's one that never leads to a good place. Those who bargain with death can never get what they want, and it ends up causing them more harm than help. For Homura, that harm was realized when, in episode 10, it's revealed that every time she goes back in time, she strengthens Madoka's eventual collapse. Every failed attempt isn't just lost to time, they accumulate, ripping holes in the fabric of time and logic, adding more and more and more fuel to the fire, until Madoka's fate is completely sealed. There is nothing Homura can do to stop Madoka from making her wish. Madoka is the final magical girl, the penultimate Puella Magi, and a perfect embodiment of the last stage of grief, acceptance. Acceptance isn't just moving on from pain, it's embracing the thought that everything you could have done has already been done. It's acknowledging the fact that you can't control everything and something's just happened. There's no beating around the bush, no pushing blame onto others or yourself. It's being at peace. Thank you so much for watching. This video was a lot more fun to make than the last. If you enjoyed it, subscribe. I hope you have a good one.